Hello everybody, Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, and we are here to do the NXT review from last evening, April 22nd, 2020. I don't know, I found this show really difficult to get through. Not anything terrible in the event itself, but there's a certain feeling with NXT now versus NXT in its golden days, and to me the golden days were the Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte Flair. Those were the main talents there. Now there are people I like in NXT now that obviously we'll get into as we go, but I just find it harder to watch over the last year. Maybe it's that AEW does the underdog, undervalued talent thing better. I don't know, but I have, as I've gotten back into watching more of the mainstream programming, I find it really, really difficult. Anyway, we open with William Regal having been announced as removing Finn Balor from the main event against Velveteen Dream later. It seems like this should be some sort of big deal, especially with a bait and switch to open a show. First we have the fact that the event is in an empty arena. Then we have the fact that this has been going on for weeks. Now we're bait and switching in a main event. To me, that's stupid. Velveteen Dream in the arena, he's sitting on a turnbuckle just like he's, about to compete in some throwbacks or something. He cuts a basic promo. I've been deceived by the demon is the basic undertone of the promo, not an exact quote, but basically I've been lied to. Nobody's as good as me, blah, blah, blah. Out comes NXT champ Adam Cole. Uninterrupted. He goes right after Velveteen Dream, accuses Dream of scheming his way to get a title shot. That is a build that's been going for a while. Cole versus Velveteen Dream. I imagine the plan is to pull the trigger on Dream gaining the championship once the COVID virus has lifted. I'm sorry, but if they do any main championship switches, well, they already did with WrestleMania, didn't they? Yeah, that was brain dead too. I was going to say they're brain dead if they do any main switches, but they've already done the biggest one with Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman to a lesser extent. Yeah, maybe they don't view moments the way I do, but anyway, curious to know, is Cole what happened to Balor, but he knows what will happen to Dream and that he's going to get jumped out. From behind, Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish rush in and take out Velveteen Dream, and there's a sneak attack, and there's three on one for a minute until Keith Lee runs out to make the save. Lee cleans house, and then we go to commercial. Undisputed era retreats before we go to that commercial, and we set up the tag team main event for later in the program. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae will be on the show some point at a later date. And then we see Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez defeating Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. Gonzalez pins Blackheart, and Blackheart drives a mini tank to the ring. For those that aren't familiar with Shotzi Blackheart, go to your way to catch her Evolve stuff. Go to the way to catch any of her indie stuff. She's a lot more talented than she's being allowed to show here. I would be building her up to be something special in NXT. I'm hoping that she eventually gets a shot with Charlotte Flair somewhere down the road. That could be really fun. She's the type of lady who needs to be guided a bit, but once she gets to that space, she's all good. And babyfaces were getting the shine, and Gonzalez does a cutoff. Kai tags in the match, and then she soon runs to the outside. Gonzalez then rushes in the ring and she does a low bridge to send her to the floor. Nox assists Blackheart in doing a springboard plancha. Again, with no, and I've said this before, but I'll say it until we have a crowd back, with no reality to the aspect of having fans in the building. Do we really need to be doing dives? Do we really need to be doing these things that could be potentially dangerous? At least not to me. Doesn't make sense. Blackheart, is basically going in the direction of being a bit of a daredevil. We go to a commercial break, come back, and Gonzalez is in control. Somehow Dakota Kai misses a face wash, and Blackheart hits an enziguri. Nox and Gonzalez tag in, and they square off. Again, this match to me feels too long. It's just one of those matches where it's kind of like, hey, we really need to be here this long. And Nox continues with the strikes. Bud couldn't fully get rid of her. And then Gonzalez catches her with a fallaway slam. Blackheart back into the ring and hits a seated senton for a near fall. Kai back into the ring. And again, it's just the matches feel like clusters. They feel like they're all over the place and spot. And it's not needed, It really isn't. Nox in again, makes a save, and then Gonzalez executes a one-arm powerbomb and gains the pinfall. Cole and Strong versus Keith Lee and Velveteen Dream is announced for the end of the show. They do a really attempted over-the-top vignette with Drake Maverick. He's opening up about his recent release. Now, we're on television here, folks, and we're supposed to be making people feel good, right? Isn't that the whole idea of WWE being an essential service? Is they have to make people feel good and happy and a box of rainbows and fluffy ducks. At least that's the idea, right? So why in the blue hell do you shoot a segment that shows sadness over a guy losing his job when this was preventable? And the very people that are watching this program probably are scratching their head going, wait a minute, this juggernaut, this world entertainment company that I watch every week is so poor they can't keep their employees? Gee, maybe they're not as big a deal as I thought. Does nobody run through their mind in this company that public perception means everything at a time when the whole entire world is coming together for the sake of this pandemic? Does nobody think, gee, we want to look magnanimous and friendly, not like we are brain dead and sniffing pop rocks in a corner while singing Smoke on the Water? It just doesn't make any sense. So Maverick Wild eventually says that this isn't about a tournament anymore, this is about his life. Well, wait, if the decision's already been made that you've been fired, it's not about your life, that's already been determined. In reality, it's about you feeling the need, compelled to support a company that's let you go because you want to do right business on the way out the door. And furthermore, if this ends up being a storyline where they bring him back because somehow there's an online groundswell that it's wrong to use this and exploit him this way, which truthfully it is, angle or not. Exploiting anybody who's been let go is just a dumb as a box of rocks move at this point. But if it turns out that they get a groundswell and then they go, we have an idea, we have money to bring back Drake Maverick and he can win, and then it's a happy story. No. All it's going to make people think about is the simple fact that they may not have a job to go back to. Hello? Is this thing on? Anyway, so WWE still fails to mention the COVID virus. So everyone on the planet has heard of the virus, knows it by name, is annoyed of hearing about it. But if you live in WWE world, it's just a situation. So it's a Jersey Shore reality star that we have going on that's shut down the economy. Okay, good to know. Anyway, so he can't mention this. No one can mention this. Doesn't want people to feel sorry for him. Other people are going through far worse, yada, yada. A lot of people think that this is a good video package. I think this is a horrible video package because, hey, how come, here's a question for those of us that want to be logical, how come those who were sent home to their families, those who were sent home to their children, they don't get a video, but Drake Maverick does? How come? Whose butt did he kiss? Or who does he have dirt on? Or who's he friends with that other people aren't? Or something. There's got to be a reason he gets a video package and everybody else on the way out the door doesn't there? Or is it WWE where there is no internal logic and that's the whole problem to begin with? Anyhow, video highlights of Jake Atlas, newcomer, wanting to be an inspiration to others, wanting to be a inspiration, break stereotypes. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I skipped some things in the past few weeks. I don't understand what stereotype he's breaking, and I don't want to make assumptions. Perhaps I am naive. Perhaps I don't watch closely enough, and that could be true. I've seen literally tens of thousands of matches by now in the 31 years as a fan and 12 years as a play-by-play guy. I've seen way too many matches, but I don't understand what stereotype he's breaking. Might have been useful for the announcers. I don't know. Tell us, since they are the ones who are supposed to speak, for the company in some way or fashion. Anyway, Atlas defeats Drake Maverick, easy for me to say, in a Group A match for the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament. Okay, so let's get this straight. Let me just wrap my mind around the internal logic of this whole concept. So we have this fake fighting organization. And this fake fighting organization has champions. And the champions, much like the rest of the world, are on quarantine. And so if this was real, being a champion would be a pretty big deal and make a lot of money. So being stripped of a championship, which for the record is just stupid, and I'm going to explain to you why, because it sends the message that we're punishing somebody, in this case Jordan Devlin, for not being able to or willing to break the quarantine. Don't believe me? Follow this through for a second. In a company that has any sort of brains, heart, integrity, intelligence, couldn't they say the championship committee, the president, the board of directors, the person eating butternut squash over in the corner, anybody, has deemed that all WWE championships of men and women fall under a once-in-a-lifetime blanket waiving of the rule of defense, so that if a champion cannot travel because of the situation, we can't say the virus, that they can hold on to their championship. They can hold on to it until the world goes back to work. And basically the same as holding on to a job until the world goes back to work. Because if we don't do this, here's what we've said. We've said, okay, this person can't travel internationally. Let's punish him. In my world, that would qualify as workplace discrimination. In my world, that would qualify as need for a lawsuit. So are the writers so inept, or the persons who sign off, Vince included, so inept that they think it is more advisable to advocate the fake fighting continuance of championships that don't really matter anyway? After all, Vince Russo taught us 20 years ago that belts are just props. So if they don't matter anyway, then why are we causing someone to lose them over something they can't control? And if they do matter, then why can't a person hold on to them until they can go back to work? Either way, this storyline makes no sense. You could have just as easily, here's a thought, had a number one contenders tournament, held the same exact tournament, and then shoot B-roll footage with YouTube, with cameras, with FaceTime, whatever, of Jordan Devlin smiling and snickering and snarking in a corner because he has all this time to prepare. He's going to train. He's going to train from inside his house, and he's going to do pull-ups on his stairs, and he's going to go down in his basement and do Hindu squats, and he's going to do all of it just to keep the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Isn't that a much better storyline than we punish the guy because he can't travel due to the COVID virus? I don't know. To me, it is. Anyway, so we go back to the Atlas and Drake Maverick match, and Atlas pins Maverick with a cartwheel DDT, and he is now undefeated, 1-0 in the tournament. Maverick falls to 0-1. That makes logical sense. The match was relatively, it was fine. It was good. I guess it was supposed to be a babyface match, although there were some heel tendencies from Maverick, who has, more to lose because he lost his job and has to go home to his family and explain how they're going to get by, and he's a little bit more aggressive. The announcers kept playing up that he had, in fact, been let go. So, here's the thing. If he's let go, right? If he's let go, here's my thought, and maybe it's just because I've been around businesses all over the world. I'm dealing with a nursing home lawsuit myself, but I'm also dealing with a couple of clients that have some lawsuits going on over stupid things. And I would think if he's already been fired, if he trips and falls into that ring, if he takes one bad bump, oops, lawsuit. And the people at home are smart enough to figure that too. Because wouldn't you think that if they think they're going to lose their job, they're not thinking, how can I protect myself and my family? Those who are at the, not the bottom of the barrel literally, but those who are really scrambling and freaked out by this, don't you think they're thinking anything to get money? And why would a guy who has to risk his body not think the same way? Don't know. Again, there's those logic holes. Anyway, beautiful head scissors spot that sent Atlas over the ropes. Atlas fights back and gets things going back in his direction. He takes the majority of the offense. Maverick looks to turn the tide and eventually does rally, nailing him with a beautiful missile drop kick. Applies a few submissions, but Atlas escapes. And then there's a top rope suicide dive. Maverick with a flying elbow in homage to Randy Savage for a near fall. Sad that that's not a finisher, but okay. Atlas then soon cuts him off with a super kick, homage to the Bucks, who used many super kicks on Being the Elite a few days ago. Then Atlas blocked a Frankensteiner attempt and eventually drops into the swinging DDT. Atlas covers Maverick for the pinfall. In the next segment, we see Mackenzie Mitchell. Hey, alliteration. Vince likes that. Interviewing Atlas after the match. And so Atlas is remorseful about beating Maverick, but now Atlas is stressed that he was prepared. People are about to know my story, and I'm going to become the next Cruiserweight champion, he says. Now, hey, here's a way to get a guy over as a babyface. Really simple. Since this is all, we write it as we go along anyway. If the guy legitimately just got fired, right? And you want to get the new guy over as a babyface, right? He beats the guy. And then goes over, picks him up off the mat, shakes his hand, gives him a hug, grabs the microphone and says, you know what? I'm glad I advanced in the tournament, or I'm glad I've got a victory in my block, but something doesn't feel right here. You deserve to have a job. I'm going to give you half my paycheck for this match. I'm going to give you half the money because I believe you deserve the right to feed your family. Hey, he's a likable guy. Hey, people will buy his merchandise. Again, is it really that difficult? So then we see a video package billing towards Damian Priest challenging for the North American Championship with Keith Lee. Priest cuts promo, and then we see a hype package for Kushida and Tony Nese about their first match in the Cruiserweight tournament. Kushida and Nese put on a Group A match in the Cruiserweight tournament. Kushida submitted Nese using the Sakura lock. Now, this is a match, if you like mat wrestling, and I do, that's my preference. I am the Zack Sabre Jr. guy. I think Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best in the world right now. I'm the Dean Malenko Eddie Guerrero guy. Before that, I'm the Savage Steamboat guy, Flair Steamboat. I'm a guy that likes in-ring action where it goes to the mat a good bit. If you like that style, go out of your way to see this match. Both guys put on a clinic here and did not let the fact they were in an empty arena affect them negatively. The fight goes to the outside and they throw each other into the barricade. Kushida fights back with an axe handle, and then Kushida gets sent out of the ring again. Nese sends him crashing into the barricade. A lot of use of the barricades, but you need smoke and mirrors, and I understand that if you're in an empty arena, the sound of the barricade breaks up the monotony of, any light that's in the work, and that makes sense. Then Nese had Kushida locked in a body scissors when the show returns from break. Kushida makes comeback and finally hits the handspring back elbow a la Muna and a cartwheel dropkick. Kushida does the wind-up punch. Then he targeted the arm of Nese with a pump handle, but Kushida barred the arm and worked it over with kicks. Kushida applies the Sakura lock, and Nese used a suplex counter for near fall. Then we go to Nese with a beautiful Phoenix splash for his own near fall. The two are fighting on the top turnbuckle. Kushida applies the Sakura lock for the second time. They both crash to the mat. After that, Kushida maintaining the hold. Kushida does a really good job of holding the hold here, and Nese would then tap out. Good match, best match I've seen this week. I've still got to watch the Impact show, so maybe there's something there. I don't think so, but there could be. But definitely best match of the week, worth going out of your way to see. Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher up with Mackenzie Mitchell. Next, Thatcher said that they have two different philosophies. Riddle likes to knock people out, and Thatcher likes to lock them in a hold and make them suffer. So basically what we have is Johnny Valentine and Stu Hart. That would be interesting. I wonder if they ever crossed paths. Anyway, so Thatcher said that or Riddle says that Thatcher is a beautiful man. Hopefully this leads to them doing battle, because those that have seen their Evolve series, these guys are fun. But Riddle is saying that he misses Stallion Pete, and says that every time he looks in the blue eyes of Thatcher, he's reminded of Stallion Pete. So Thatcher kindly reminds him that his eyes are brown, not blue. Awkward comedy, but anyway. And then he says next week we're gonna make you more human or something like that. And then the Karrion Kross and Scarlett video is up next. I'm not particularly swayed either way with that yet. Okay, so the Johnny Gargano very long taped promo at the dinner table. He talks about how he's been the NXT guy for the last several years, since 2016. his wife brings him dinner, cuts a promo on the whole NXT concept. It's kind of, I suppose they're doing, kind of a thing where it's like, hey, we've been taken for granted long enough. You all can go kick rocks and kiss off. And it was just too long. They say that they are going to become the first male and female NXT respective champions at the same time, the first married couple to do so. I guess that's a good angle, but at the same time, part of the allure of the women, at least for most men, in theory, even if it's subconsciously, is that they're single, so I don't know that her being married really helps her career. Meanwhile, this just feels like it comes out of nowhere with Gargano, and it is what it is. So we then have a promo package of Io Shirai getting ready to handle Charlotte Flair. Maverick was on the stairwell, and he's sad, he's verklempt, he's upset, he's fighting for himself, he's fighting his opponents, he's fighting for his life. It's sad, he's tearing up, and we need this storyline. Why? We don't have enough sadness in the world with thousands of people dying? Certainly not, according to WWEville. In any event, Mia Yim versus Jessie Camara. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. First time I've heard her name, so I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. My apologies. Camara got some offense in early. Yim executes an STO, and then she went for Project Gannett to score pinfall. Flair comes out to confront Yim after the match. She asked him if she wanted wants a title match, and Yim said she would be honored. Wait a minute. Now think about this. The women's champion comes out to visit you. They have a history that goes back 5 years. The women's champion says, do you want to fight me for the belt? To which the recipient of this, in this case, me and him, is supposed to say anything but yes? Well, that would make a whole lot of sense. No, I don't want to be champion. Not today. Give me a curtain jerker, please. What? More accurately, the way to do something like that, in a simpler format, Charlotte Flair comes out and goes, I've been traveling the world. I am a multi-time champion. Been to Raw, been to SmackDown, came from NXT. One thing hasn't changed. It's your heart. It's your gut. It's your guts. It's your ability to make things happen. And after watching that for years, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to do you a solid because you did it for me when I was here. I'm going to give you a shot at the most important thing in the world to me, and that is this championship belt. You name the time, you name the place. You have been nothing but a good hand, which they stole from. They stole the good hand line from AEW, by the way. You've been nothing but a good hand, and now I'm going to give you the opportunity of a lifetime to get your hands on this, the NXT Women's Championship. Again, off the top of my head, better than the scripted junk that they're throwing at us, right? Like, come on now. Anyway, so then we go to El Hijo del Fantasma, who defeats Jack Gallagher in a Group B match. Fantasma, with a new mask, pinned Gallagher while making his televised in-ring debut on NXT. I wish they'd given us a little more of his history. The announcers are kind of, I don't know, leaving out bits and pieces. He wears a mask. The mask tells the story of his heritage and history. Okay, tell us more, please. Who is the guy? Where did he come from? Why is he here? Something? Anything? What does he like to eat? Make him relatable, especially because he doesn't speak the language very well, if at all. It's like, hello, this does not need to be rocket science. It does not need to be that difficult. Anyway, Gallagher was grounded early until he cut off Phantasma with a fireman's carry slam. Gallagher to the outside, again with the barricade. It's like the 8th time they've used the barricade. I swear they need like extra weapons just to hit people with things in this empty arena environment. Anyway, Phantasma able to catch Gallagher in a crucifix into the ropes and flip Gallagher over the ropes and on the floor. Now Phantasma hits a plancha. That makes sense. Lucha guys can get passes on hitting planches and such. So then they traded near falls with rolls and roll throughs. Gallagher with a headbutt for 2 count. Gallagher misses a charge in the corner. Phantasma with a Michinoku driver to score the pinfall. He cuts a promo in Spanish. Now, want to credit the WWE, at least NXT production staff, with something. They usually put subtitles under the talents who happen to speak other languages. Not that wrestling fans want to stop and read to be able to follow their products, but it's better than not having an option to understand what the person is saying. So kudos to whoever came up with the idea that subtitles would be a good idea. Okay, Dexter Lumis and Velveteen Dream defeated Undisputed Era NXT champion Adam Cole and Roderick Strong with Bobby Fish. Match started as Dream teaming with Keith Lee. Lee gets injured partway through. Damian Priest ran out to injure him, taking him out of the match. Lumis is an odd person to replace Lee, but maybe he's one of the 2 people they have in the building. Anyway, Dream scores a pinfall on the NXT champion to win the match for his team. This is a good thing because eventually it's going to lead to Dream picking up the championship. Not sure how I feel about that. It's Dream is wearing a Dream Over t-shirt. That can be marketed pretty well, I'm pretty sure. Fish interferes in the early parts of the match, and he's ejected from ringside. Priest suddenly approaches, and he attacks Lee, who then can't breathe. They go to a commercial break, and it's a handicap match. And Strong returns from the break with the handicap match for Dexter Lumis makes his way out there. And then, let's see here, just looking at my notes, see if I missed anything. Lumis appeared out of nowhere, and he's on the ring apron. He subbed for an injured Lee, who went to the back during the melee of things. I don't know. I don't particularly like why put Lee out there as the North American champion if you're just going to have him get taken out. Wasn't there someone else in the building they could have teamed Dream with, etc. and so forth. Dream kept off, or left off stop rope to deliver the Purple Rainmaker, and he covered Cole for the win. I mean, I still, pound for pound, think AEW was the better show. NXT lacking. Go out of your way to watch the Nice match, but other than that, reasonably skippable show. And so that's that. We will have much more content today. As I mentioned before, we're trying to get as much content as we can to monetize the channel to give some much-needed relief to those who are part of the COVID affected. And if that's you, please feel free to reach out thoughts with those who are affected. In any event, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.